wonderful world. It's Wednesday, June 19th, I think
19th.
it is today. Yeah. And tomorrow is the summer solstice 2024, which is exciting. It's been quite a year so far, hasn't it? It's been just an amazing year, actually. So we've been trying out something new and different for ourselves in the last couple of weeks, and your term for it was high vibe
High
activation.
vibe activation.
Yeah, good term
Snappy,
for
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah, snappy. We like to make everything kind of modern, fresh, snappy, exciting, that kind of thing. So, um, because I was just thinking, we're not we're not really healers. That's not our game. We're more like optimizers and innovators. We're always coming up with new ways to do things. So a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how to move through certain physical things. And I hold a belief that as you raise in frequency, that disease kind of ceases to exist at a certain point. So we set ourselves the task of getting to as high a frequency together as we could get, and we spent one day a week trying to move it there. Do you want to say anything about that so far? Because then we'll talk about what happened
Well, I think
yesterday.
this sort of like builds on something we'd done previously, which was about virtual med beds.
Yeah,
The idea was floated to us that some apparatus somewhere would send out certain frequencies which would elevate your consciousness and ability to, as you would say, overcome certain ailments.
yeah.
So we thought, well, if there is apparatus which does that, why can't we do that ourselves?
Yes.
So we set up a virtual med bed in the apartment, and have it run, in a continual way, to see what the outcome would be. And it seemed to be quite successful, I would say, and that you'd notice a certain elevation of energy. And I think that's what we're really talking about. How can you get to a certain place or state in yourself in a constant way, rather than have ups and you have downs, so that you feel like almost like being refreshed each day.
Yeah.
And to go further with your point about finding that place where disease uh, doesn't have any place at all, I think maybe it's conceptual. Maybe there is some actual evidence to suggest that this is completely doable and applicable, and that there is a scientific basis for that. But I think in the end, it's about what you feel about your physical condition, about the ability to be able to overcome diseases. And we have friends in our network who can say that they've managed to overcome life-threatening ailments. And it's with that in mind that we said, well, let's try this high vibrational state and see if it can be sustained, firstly, and see if also it meets the ideas that we have around physicality and the ability to be able to instantly put yourself into a vibrational constant state, which elevates your sense of aliveness.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about a vibrational state where, oh, isn't it lovely? That's a certain level of frequency. We're talking about like mega vibes is what we were playing with. And so over the last 2 weeks, we've met pretty much once a day at least to see how high we could get ourselves in frequency, like a breakthrough high vibrational frequency is what we were looking for. And then yesterday in our Murmuration of Maestros calls, which is all of our super buddies who get together at least once or twice a week, and we do big consciousness innovation work together for the world and energetic work. So one of our buddies who had a close to death experience last week really was very, very close to going. And has really she's like come out of it with this exhilarated, high power, pulsing, amazing orientation to everything. And she was talking about this, and then someone else on the call said, well, why don't we all go for this? And we said, yeah, let's all together go for a super mega high vibin activational state and see what happens. So it was the first time we've done it just beyond you and I to go into a collective co-creational state of something higher than we've existed in, even at our best, I would say, recently. And it was amazing what happened on that call. It was just like everything just went wild. And I actually could see myself, and this is, it's this, I don't think this is just imagination. Like I wouldn't argue with people who said it might be, but it didn't feel like imagination. And I felt like I was in the universe and I had two neutron stars in each hand. And I was standing between the two neutron stars who were colliding and merging and creating this incredible energetic force in the universe. And I just was there in this state. And I really, felt it all night. I still feel it now, this a different level of vibrational frequency is existing in me, and I think perhaps in us, perhaps in the world as well, because we've had so many solar flares and the April 8th solstice this year, and there's just been so much go on that the frequencies have gone up so very, very high. That it's, and I believe that when you go to high frequency, not only do I believe that disease ceases to exist, but you enter a new state of consciousness. You become super conscious, expansive, vastly aware. The dynamic of your thinking changes. Your orientation to life gets more exhilarating, more joyful, more alchemical, et cetera, et cetera. So all those kind of side benefits as well.
To which I would add that who you believe yourself to be and what you believe yourself to be capable of doing and achieving is also important. And as you rightly say, we don't consider ourselves to be healers. We may have at one time, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think that this is more than a concept we're talking about. This is something that you actively feel is in you to achieve.
Yeah.
That's a very prime point that needs to be made there, that it is in you to achieve this,
Yes.
and for whatever effect. And I also would say that it isn't about just me and isn't about just the two of us, but that what we do at that level has also the butterfly type effect, if you like, where it does affect everything around us. And so therefore you can't just do an affirmation and an intention and a wish fulfillment to say, I'm going to raise my vibration. And through meditation, I become this amazingly divine figure. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that we see that there is that potential in us as creational beings to be able to generate something within ourselves, within our bodies, which allows the vibration to raise. And that might be achieved through something like music. You listen to a piece of music that moves you, and it sort of like then runs through your listening, even without the source of the music being present. It's
Yeah.
like it is then somehow infused in you. And you can use that type of feeling of rhythm, of movement, of being changed somehow inside you to be able to allow and to assist the generation of energy to raise in a significant way.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting to talk about, interesting to play with. But then when it suddenly tips over and it becomes a reality, which you are then embodying, then you know you're in a completely different game.
Yeah.
And things that might have been talked about have a different context because you've experienced a sense of wonder, excitement, um, a level of ecstasy that previously you would only get through certain avenues. But
Yeah.
when you just go, right, and they're just going to focus in this moment to have an experience that I equivalent to raising my vibration. As we said, you're the high vibe activator.
Yeah.
You might use that as an expression, but you also might use it as a true feeling of some sort of attainment.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I would sort of like say to people, just try it out for yourself. We've sort of like given sort of hints about how we do this and what benefits we might receive from it. But it is to each person to be able to play with and to examine what it is that you're doing and how you might change the course of your life because you've entered into this phase of amazing embrace of life,
Yeah.
of the potential of greater life.
Yes. And you and I have lived in high vibrational frequency for some years now. It's not new to us, but I think what is new to us about this is the level of power and the pulsing effervescence of the universal, you know, brilliance that's coming from it all. So I would say, like I think normal life kind of goes on, it kind of like, around here. And then we've been kind of living like here. And this was like if I was going to try and give a physical demonstration of it, it's like the power of the universe blasting through you kind of thing in delightful ways. It was interesting seeing myself standing between these two neutron stars in my hands, and between them, it wasn't disconcerting, it wasn't off-putting, it wasn't scary, it was exhilarating, it was delightful, it was joyful. A smile came on my face. My whole body was buzzing with delight, I would say. And I think what that leads us to is a life of joy, a life of alchemical exhilaration and activation and optimization. We're constantly innovating brand new things. The genius just flows through us. Our ability to come up to any circumstance is just easy for us, effortless. I'm a hyper creator. I think you're a grace hyper creator in a different way, but it's just so exciting to live in that high vibrational frequency. So I would suggest that people find their own way to keep getting it higher and higher and higher. And another suggestion might be to tune into our murmuration of maestros group energetically of what we did yesterday, and just we just like be there now with them all from all around the world. Feel the power pulsing through us. And what happens when you do that, it doesn't just raise your own frequency, expand your own intelligence, grow your superconscious awareness. It also gives you an ability to be able to gift to the world, or source for the universe, source for life, for whatever wants to come through you. It gives you the energy, the ability, the vibrancy, the power, the innovation, the ideas, the genius, the super flow, the pulses of it. All of it comes along with that raise in high vibe activation. So I absolutely love living like this. I search for moments where that power is pulsing through us in a brilliant way in which all life can thrive upon it.
I would just as an addition say that don't listen to the news. Anything which isn't matching this vibration in this context we're talking about,
Yeah.
do not have anything to do with it. because you'll find out you have no interest in it whatsoever. And even as I'm talking about this, I'm looking at the phoenix behind me, about what it symbolizes, and I've realized that actually I've really gone beyond that picture and what it represents. I have a feeling that I've surpassed something in that,
Yes.
and that it no longer fits color-wise or energy-wise, or the presence it might bring to me in the room.
Yeah.
So I might have to do something about that.
Yes.
But you know, it is these things that you notice when you have these types of experiences that we're talking about, that things change, that they're no longer going to be in the same way as you think that they might be or should be.
Yeah.
That you've got to be watchful then about your relationships with people, because some people just no longer resonate with them. And your relationship with the things around you, such as the painting that I'm talking about, it just no longer seems to fit. You will notice these things.
Yes.
You will have an awareness about them. And then what you choose to do about them will be entirely up to you.
Yes.
But it is about finding the things that then do fit in your life and that you do want to find that resonance.
Yes.
Then you will continue with that.
That's a good point, because that happened for me. I've been searching since February for the right painting, and I found this one. I don't know if everybody can see it.
Mhm.
A couple of weeks ago in Glastonbury, my wonderful artist, celestialprophecies.com is his website. And I needed something that allowed me to pictorially see what we are becoming here as physical, transcendent, high vibe beings. And that worked for me. So now we'll have to go find one for you. You know, that's what's
Oh, well.
Jeepers. Our house, our apartment is like an art gallery already. There's
Take
hardly
one
any
down,
space
put one
left.
up.
Yeah, but we'll find it for sure. That's exciting. I love it. Okay, so maybe just before we close this podcast off, let's just do a quick high vibe in with everybody who wants to join in with us and feel that kind of exhilaration and
Unless you're vibrating there already, so I wouldn't be surprised if you were.
okay, let's do that together before we stop. Okay, here we go. It's just so amazing. Do you know, one of the things that helps me with it, first, it's the opening up of the joy in me, the bursting of the universal pulses through me. But then also it's the collectiveness, which includes the whales, the dolphins, the trees, the oceans, all the creatures, the living creatures who are also going into a new high vibe frequency with us and us with them as well, and the universe and the stars and just when you allow it to go collective and you surrender your own personal energetics to something greater pulsing through you, then you find you're no longer working on just you or just your physical. You become a transcendent source creator for the power of life to achieve optimal becomings and innovating new possibilities that we've never considered before that take us all to new levels of ourselves. So it is an amazing experience. So anything for you about how that was?
Well, I was there already, of course, but I would just say as a closing thing that we are discarding concepts about what it is that we're doing all the time. Just like the painting, some things will fit and carry on, some things won't, and
Yeah.
will be exchanged for something else that's new and fresh and exciting and exhilarating. And I think there's some sort of progression in that, so that you would never feel that things stay the same. but the feeling of innovation as we talk about something like a high vibe activator. It's not based upon what I've heard, and it's not based upon anything that's been told to me,
That's right.
but it is something that we are exploring and will continue to explore further in other ways, in other more diverse ways, perhaps further still. And I
Yeah.
think that's quite exciting.
And that's part of us outrageously evolving is we're always letting go of what we have already discovered, achieved, created, and going for the next new high vibe and evolving thing, which is such a wonderful way to live. You know, a lot of people in the normal way of living life would resist change, but we're like, whoa, bring on the next new. And it's gone into a kind of gracious superflow for us. So our outrageously evolving approach is like this constant, like next, 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 with great joy and exhilaration as part of it. So exciting.
So, in the next week or so, Glastonbury Festival will be underway. No
Yes.
doubt you'll be tuning into that delirium as well.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm running an event on Facebook, an open one for anybody who's interested. Highlights of the Glastonbury Festival, and I'm on all the festival groups, and I'll be from my couch collating all the pictures, all the experiences, all the videos from the BBC that are the festival. So, and tomorrow is the summer solstice in Glastonbury, so we'll be having lots of stuff going on there as well. So very, very exciting. Love it.
Oh, high vibe.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching and listening to this, our 16th podcast. How about that? It's wonderful having you on this journey with us. So thanks for listening.
Until the
Lots of
next
love.
one.
Bye.
Ciao.